What happens when a 19-year-old falls in love with a wealthy 55-year-old woman? Is it true love or something darker? This story takes a shocking turn when the groom is found dead just months after the wedding. Stick around to find out how a fairy tale romance became a deadly mystery you won't believe. If you want to explore more chilling true stories like this, make sure to subscribe to True Stories Uneviled. Hit the bell icon to never miss a new upload. In a quiet town where everyone knows each other's business, an unexpected relationship took the town by storm. James, a fresh-faced 19-year-old, had always been the charming, carefree boy next door. But nothing could have prepared the town for the bombshell that would follow: his engagement to Margaret, a 55-year-old wealthy widow. Margaret was known as the Queen of the town. Widowed for years after her husband's death, she had built a life of luxury and success, running a family business that made her one of the wealthiest women in the region. With her pearls and designer clothes, she seemed far removed from the world of young James, who had barely finished high school and had dreams of a simpler life. So, when news broke that the two were in love and planning to marry, tongues wagged, eyebrows raised, and rumors spread like wildfire. To many, their relationship seemed incomprehensible. What could a 19-year-old boy possibly see in a woman more than twice his age? Was it her wealth, her status, or was it something deeper, something the town couldn't understand? Margaret was smitten with James, who showered her with affection and attention. For the first time in years, she felt alive, like she had a second chance at happiness. James, on the other hand, claimed it was true love. He said Margaret made him feel secure and loved in a way no one else could. Yet, the whispers continued. Was James using Margaret for her money, or did he truly love her? But despite the gossip, they went ahead with the wedding. Margaret, in her elegant, expensive gown, looked every bit the confident bride. James, in his tailored suit, appeared both excited and nervous. Their wedding, though small and intimate, was the talk of the town. For some, the union felt unnatural. Could love really blossom between such different worlds? What neither James nor Margaret could foresee was the dark path ahead. After their whirlwind wedding, James and Margaret appeared to settle into a life of bliss. Their honeymoon was a lavish affair, with trips to Paris, Venice, and the Caribbean. Margaret spared no expense in showering James with luxury, from private jets to five-star hotels. To anyone looking from the outside, it seemed like a fairy tale come true. But behind the facade of the honeymoon romance, things were not as perfect as they appeared. As weeks turned into months, cracks began to show in their marriage. Margaret, thrilled to have someone to share her wealth and lifestyle with, often demanded James' attention. She would take him to social events, dinners, and charity functions, eager to show him off as her handsome young husband. James, however, started feeling out of place. He was thrust into a world of luxury and status that he had never been prepared for. Surrounded by people twice his age, who spoke a language of wealth and business that he didn't understand. At first he enjoyed the luxuries, the cars, the clothes, the travel. But soon, the isolation set in. Margaret's social circle, while welcoming at first, began to treat him as a child. They didn't take him seriously, and in many ways, he started to feel like an accessory to Margaret's lavish life. His feelings of discomfort grew, but he kept quiet, not wanting to upset his wife. Meanwhile, Margaret sensed the growing distance between them. She thought spending more money would fix the problem. Buying James a new sports car, expensive watches, and even a yacht. But material gifts couldn't mask the growing emotional rift. Rumors of James' interest in younger women started circulating. He began spending more time out of the house, allegedly meeting friends his age and seeking companionship elsewhere. Margaret, who had been confident in her status and wealth, began to feel insecure and jealous. Was James truly in love with her, or was he just in love with her money? Their once glamorous life was now marred by arguments, cold silences, and late nights. The fairy tale was unraveling, and the town's whispers grew louder. One chilly autumn night, the illusion of their picture-perfect life shattered forever. James was found dead in the couple's mansion, a scene that left the town in shock. Initially, police treated the case as a robbery gone wrong. His body was found in the living room, bruises on his head, and the room appeared ransacked. But as investigators began to dig deeper, the case took a dark and unexpected turn. Margaret, in tears, claimed to have been out shopping at the time of the incident. She returned home to find James dead, and her world fell apart in an instant. But the more the investigators looked, the more suspicious the circumstances seemed. There were no signs of forced entry, no valuables were missing, and the evidence suggested that James had been targeted, not accidentally killed in a random robbery. Questions started to pile up. Who would want James dead? Was it a crime of passion, or was there something more sinister at play? As investigators delved into the couple's life, they uncovered a mountain of secrets. It turned out that Margaret had recently taken out a massive life insurance policy on James, worth millions. Friends of the couple revealed that their relationship had been rocky in recent months, with frequent arguments and whispers of infidelity on James' part. James had allegedly been involved with a younger woman, someone more his age. While Margaret was busy maintaining her public image and status, James had found comfort elsewhere. This young woman, unnamed in the official reports, was rumored to be planning a future with James away from Margaret's shadow. Could this have been the breaking point? Margaret, once seen as the heartbroken widow, was now the prime suspect. Investigators theorized that she had discovered James' affair and, feeling betrayed, had arranged his murder. The town's gossip had turned from whispers of age-gap love to a full-blown murder scandal. It didn't take long before Margaret's name was tied to a hitman, a man who had been seen lurking near the mansion in the days leading up to the murder. Phone records, suspicious withdrawals from her bank account, and witness testimonies pointed to a premeditated crime. Margaret was arrested, and the media frenzy began. The trial was set to be the biggest story the town had ever seen. A wealthy widow, a young lover, betrayal, and murder. As the trial unfolded, more shocking details came to light. The prosecution painted a clear picture. Margaret had grown increasingly paranoid and jealous over James' affair. She feared losing him, not just emotionally, but financially as well. If James left her, she would not only lose her companion, but also her public image as a successful, independent woman with a young husband by her side. The life insurance policy she had taken out on James was the final piece of the puzzle. It seemed like Margaret had decided that if she couldn't have James, no one could. The prosecution argued that she had hired a hitman to take care of the problem. She would be free from the emotional turmoil, and she would cash in on the insurance money. But Margaret's defense was equally compelling. They argued that Margaret was innocent, that she had loved James deeply, and that the life insurance policy was standard for couples in their position. They claimed that Margaret had been set up by someone else, possibly the young woman James had been involved with. The jury was torn, but the evidence against Margaret was damning. The phone records, the hitman's confession, and the life insurance policy were too much to ignore. After weeks of deliberation, Margaret was found guilty of orchestrating James's murder. The once powerful, wealthy widow was sentenced to life in prison, a shocking fall from grace. The town, once captivated by the fairy tale romance between a young man and an older woman, now saw the tragic consequences of a relationship built on secrets, lies, and betrayal. Margaret's story became a national sensation, a cautionary tale about the dangers of love, money, and power. James, though gone, would never be forgotten, his death serving as a reminder that sometimes even love has a dark side.